Her whole world was wheat and chaff and stubble and the drone of combines and Ford trucks with clutches that stretched her short frame to the max. Sometimes, if she was lucky, the truck would have a radio she could tune into some country music. God dang, if old man Willie wasn't already passed out in one of the booths. He was wearing field clothes. His stubby German mustache, cut in the same style as the salt and pepper bangs that hung over his forehead, drooped over slack lips. Cash fought off an involuntary shudder. The Ham's beer clock behind the bar said 9:35. Willie must have left the fields early. That is, if he ever went to the fields anymore. Cash figured his son did all the farming for him these days. Old drunk. She couldn't help but glance to see if the front of his pants were still dry. They were. She shook off the shudder again. Pitiful old man. Every time she came into the Casbah, which was dang near every night, Willie already had a jump on her. She leaned against a booth to watch a couple farm boys shoot pool, playing at being hustlers. There were 4 quarters ahead of her. She had never left the Red River Valley, but she knew these two didn't know jack about hustling. Once, a couple of guys had come in on leave from working the Montana ranches. They wore big silver belt buckles and Stetson hats to match, putting the farmers' duckbills to shame. All the blonde farm girls in the bar had been a Twitter for the week those boys were in Fargo. Those two knew how to hustle. And another guy, home on leave from Nam, he had known how to shoot pool. But most nights, the only competition Cash faced was drunk luck. "You up, Cash?" one of the farm boys asked her. She nodded, took a quick drag of her cigarette, and gulped more beer. For the next 2 hours, against a background of quiet farm talk at the bar and the occasional canned laughter from the TV set on the back counter, all that was heard was the click-clack of billiard balls and the clunk as one sank into a pocket and rolled down to the front gate with another clack-clunk against balls already in place. Cash held the table, drinking free the whole time. When she did lose, it was because Jim Jensen, a lanky farmer from Hendrum, came up behind her as she stood plotting the next run of 5 balls. He wrapped his arms around her waist and breathed into her ear. "Take me home, Cash." Cash first met Jim at a pool tournament over at the Flame, a few blocks from the Casbah. She was shooting in their monthly singles tournament, women's division, when the barmaid pointed out the tall, skinny farm guy who had sent a Budweiser her way. After she sank the 8-ball in the game she was playing, he ambled over and asked if she would be his partner in the couples tournament. Said his name was Jim, and figured as partners they ought to have a chance at the tournament money. He wasn't that much older than Cash, and he didn't seem to mind the fact that she wasn't blonde and blue-eyed. He did say he liked the way she cut that last 8-ball into the corner pocket. That night they placed third and took home $50 each with the kitty and side bets. Standing outside in the parking lot smoking a cigarette, he asked where she usually played, and when she said the Casbah, he laughed and made some comment about the high-class part of town. She slowly looked up at the neon-lit stripper, winding her leg around a pole that graced the doorway above the Flame. He chuckled again. Said he might drop by the Casbah and shoot a few, keeping practiced for next month's tourney. But now he had to get home to the wife and kids. Cash didn't think any more about him until he showed up at the Casbah a couple weeks later, cue case in hand. He became a regular there, and they became partners at the Flame tournaments. The pool, the beer, the winning. One thing led to another. Right back to Cash's apartment, in fact, where Cash had asked, "What about your wife and kids?" And Jim had answered, "Don't worry about it." So she didn't. She had a lifetime of not worrying about it. Tonight, his breath moved her neckline.